Today, I will tell you exactly what will be happening with Bitcoin short term. Are we actually due a correction and what will happen to the meme coin market? We'll go through several opinions on X about Murat coin list, current situation with memes, and what would be happening in the upcoming couple of weeks. We will also go through the only way how people are actually making real money in meme coins. Actually, two ways. And they are not what you think they are. We will end up with some PvP scenario that I'm pissed off about at this stage that is happening with one of the coins that I'm in at this stage. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Without further ado, let's start. First of all, I would like to start with Solana Meme coins I was calling in my private Discord on 23rd of August. We can see that since the time of the call, WIF is up 50%, Popcat did a 3x, Giga did 1.7x, MUMU, important, is at the same level as before. Billy did 30%, also important, but Billy is not in the meta at this stage. Michi did 2x, Retardio did 3x, SCF did 2x, Selfie did 4.5x, Lockin did 5x, Tram did 2.5x, Brainlet did 0. FWalk did 7x, Aura did 4.5x, and Mini did 9x as well. This is what you could have been exposed to if you were a part of my private Discord, but you probably decided not to. The reason I actually outlined MUMU and Brainlet separately is because I do think that people currently, they will start to understand with the next wave up on the meme coins that with the current peaks, the upside is not there at this stage. And they will be coming to the peaks where the upside still is present, and one of them is essentially MUMU currently. Trump also did not move that much, and we are 3 weeks before the election at this stage. You also have something like Brainlet, which is being run by Pepe Whales, and probably they will be pushing this thing moving further. But general upside here, general thing to actually do currently is not to look at the charts that look pretty much like this, right? So they had the breakout and they're just way higher somewhere here, right? Look at the charts that are essentially at this base level for the cup and handle pattern. This is exactly what we can see on MUMU currently. Cup and handle. Exactly. MUMU is due a breakout at this level, right? It should be going higher. This is something you should be looking at, right? In terms of other meme coins out there on the marketplace currently. And I actually do believe that the meta should be changing as well. As I mentioned in several of my tweets and several of my videos already, I do believe we are at the local top for Murat memes moving further, just because of the fact that current market participants, they do understand that the upside is limited. But there is still a bunch of tokens on the marketplace with good communities, good projects, with larger upsides, and I would expect repositioning of the capital. Usually this type of repositioning of the capital is happening after corrections. BTC wise, I do expect us to see $66,000 in the upcoming couple of days, then see a correction and then go to new all-time highs this month. And after this correction, I expect a change in the meta. And very important thing is to make sure that you would get positioned in the coins of the new upcoming meta. And I would think that the new upcoming meta would be the old meta. Things like Breton base and all the coins around it. Probably Pepe, coins about Pepe, MUMU essentially as well. These type of projects that are undervalued at this stage, but people start to understand that they're undervalued and they're starting to position in them currently. The same thing with Trump coin, for example. Just look at this chart. Tell me what you see here. Tell me what do you think will be happening next. Things like this, they will continue to surge up. We're 3 weeks before the election at this stage. So I do think that the meta after the correction would be around probably Pepper tokens, Mad Fury, and essentially Politify as well. So if you would like to get positioned into that meme coins, you should probably be getting memes following these narratives, good communities. If you actually would like me to provide you with Politify picks and Pepper better place picks, let me know. I will do a video on this tomorrow if you would get 250 likes on this video. Some of my tweets that I actually wanted to share on a topic. People making most money in memes don't trade. They buy early and convince others to buy. They're not in the business of trading. They're in the business of sales and marketing. Partially what inspired me to actually come up with this tweet is this screenshot portfolio from Mitch. Retarder, Sigma, RoarXD, and Glorp. None of these tokens were bought recently. None of these tokens were bought with significant amount of capital invested. Retardo, he was sharing that he bought for $350 this amount of supply back in February or something. Sigma, I think he was sharing that he invested like $3,000 to $4,000. Roar XD, he has $25 million worth of supply. I do think also that it was bought very, very early. And this is the situation with these type of tokens, and this is the situation overall in this market. This is why everyone currently is creating the profile on Twitter and started to shield his own coins as much as he only can. Start like trying to get the influence, because the game is not to constantly trade, follow some calls and things like that. Most people are actually losing money trading. This is the sad truth, sad reality out there. Most people are losing the money trading. If you're trying to trade, this is kind of not a winning strategy right away. You have to be really, really good. And in order to get really, really good, you probably have to have some skills in place. You probably have to lose quite a lot of money. And speaking about big gains, really, really big gains, mid six figures, high six figures, seven figures, this is only holding, buying low, holding, and persuading others in buying into your coins as well. This is exactly what essentially is happening with Mitch and with other people I'm seeing on the marketplace. Even some of my subscribers with, for example, OG Brett out there as well. They just bought and they were holding and they were talking about it. They were forming this community. This is the proper example of these things are happening. If you are not selling, it's essentially just easier for everyone to just hold and just wait. I do start to understand that best holders for any coin, they're actually people outside of crypto. These are just high net worth individuals, entrepreneurs who are running their own businesses and they're just doing crypto on the side, just investing. They just bought and they just don't care. They just hold and they're doing the work, they're doing the job, they're handling day-to-day problems. This is, I would think, are the best type of holders because first of all, they can invest certain nice amounts of money. Secondly, they can just not care. They just work and it's fine. Like it goes to zero, it's fine. But usually, if the project is good enough, if the narrative is good enough, they're capable of holding and capable of reaching very, very nice highs over time. Suddenly selling your alts for memes is stupid unless you have a clear plan. Literally the definition of chasing hype. If you've seriously changed your thesis over recent weeks, it's better to define a proper entry plan which gradually adjusts your weightings. I do believe that today is actually a nice entry point for the meme coins because we're seeing a correction. Really considering selling altcoin position and buy meme coins. Should I? This was shared exactly before the correction yesterday. Very, very interesting timing for this thing as well. But personally, I've done this thing back in winter. You kind of should, because partially we're thinking that, oh, like it's toppy, the thesis is adopted. People are not voting with the wallets at this stage. We are in this meme coin bubble, things that you are seeing on X and things like that. Meme coin dominance is very, very low at this stage. We all have to understand this. This is something that Ansem is sharing. Crypto is collectively underallocated to memes. 50 billion of 2.2 trillion, 2.5%. Meme coin dominance is 2.5% at this stage. I can project that this cycle, it will be going at least to 15%, at least to 15%. And the total market cap of crypto will be way larger than 2.2 trillion. This is probably not the market cap of crypto, but the market cap of others, which is crypto except Bitcoin. And they're slowly gaining momentum in attention. Best trade of the next 4 months will be identifying which meme coins have long accumulation period, cult community on Twitter, easily relatable to normies. Long accumulation period is very, very important because you have to see what is happening with your memes. When they have long accumulation period, it means that you are buying probably before the pump. You are buying during the accumulation stage. If you're buying the chart that's pumped already, you might be buying into liquidity creation stage already. And it's happening for a range of memes as it is happening on a bunch of crypto assets as well. A liquidity creation stage means that someone is already selling and essentially is selling into your volume that you are buying. Cult community on Twitter. This is something important, but I kind of feel like it's getting overused. And people are getting fed up by these cults, cult this, cults that. So it will probably change a bit because this cult thesis got adopted too much. Like it's the peak of the cult meta, I would say. Easily relatable to normies. This is giant psyop. That there are no normies on this marketplace currently. This is just the only psyop that actually works for crypto people. Or like it's something from TikTok, retail will actually buy a bunch of it. Retail did not came. Just crypto money from crypto people were robbed by essentially selling. It's just that crypto money from crypto people were robbed following this thesis. No retail came. Like, it's not happening. This is the guy who was shilling Mudenk at the top. Sideliner Cope is reaching insane levels. Hates memes, they're bad for crypto. Loves his penguin cartoon, the future of crypto. Make it make sense. I've been deeply involved in crypto 24/7 for over 7 years now. Meme coins are, in my opinion, the worst thing to happen to this space ever. For the first time, I can generally understand why outsiders view this industry with so much skepticism. And for the first time, I don't feel the same passion and excitement for it that I used to. Something needs to change ASAP. This is very important because following the meme coin dominance, 2.5% at this stage, very, very low amount of capital at this stage is still in meme coins. Very, very low amount of capital out of all the capital available on the crypto market, which means that these are the thoughts of the vast majority of people out there. 97.5% of all the capital locked in altcoins is supporting this opinion. You have to understand this. And what's interesting is that this opinion actually blocks them from entering. This opinion blocks them from entering. And that's why, like, it's quite hard to say that we are topping on meme coins. It's very, very hard to say. We're just seeing, I would say, probably third wave, maybe fourth wave of altcoin capital going into meme coins, right? Because the first wave was around April 2023 and it ended with August 2023. Second wave started with Bonk and Solana memes from October till December-ish. Third wave was around January, February till April. And we had some meme coin mania in summer as well, but there was a bunch of scams essentially, and most people were losing money. And the fourth wave is now. And what essentially created this first wave is very, very interesting, because this is something that's connected to my tweet from today as well. I want to highlight the power of communication. Murat's ability to communicate so effectively has, in my opinion, flipped the entire meme coin space upside down for the better. It's also worth mentioning that presenting yourself as an average person or even seemingly less intelligent can be powerful, as it makes you relatable. Choose the role you want to play for success. This is pure sales. Murat is a great salesperson. He used to sell to VCs, he knows how to do it, and what he's done, he essentially just sold to VCs, pushing degens back into his coins as well. This is the Murat list, and this is just the comment that I wanted to share, a very, very interesting one from yesterday as well. If you look at the chart from first mention to now, you can see the game was low caps and then shilling to get liquidity. Most were under 20 million and the lowest performance to date was the highest cap peaks. The lesson is not that you should buy these, but that the game is low liquidity to then onboarding liquidity, which is where he's actually made the money. See things for what they are and what they are doing, not for what they say, which is not where the money is made. It's an upgrade of this example where he shared a bunch of memes that were already established with a bunch of liquidity in the marketplace, and he added some of pics of his like SPX, and he obviously knew that he would be presenting and talking to 2049, right? I think this is up to 2049, right? So this is a very, very interesting type of setup, how he essentially leveraged everything that he got access to. And like he has $20 million in SPX at this stage. He will probably not be taking profits currently, and essentially I do think he's going to correct from these levels, right? But it's a very, very interesting setup. And timing wise, it also was quite interesting, because it's like this meme coin challenge where you're buying something at the bottoms and then you're constantly showing your wallet with your meme coins constantly going up. And with enough influence, they will be going up always, because more and more people will essentially be buying into them, especially if you're doing it with the dev that controls the supply in the first place, such as on Giga, right? So a very, very interesting setup was created and made. Unfortunately, I do think that a lot of people were able to make money on it. Murat himself, because he probably won't be selling currently, he probably won't be able to make as much money on it currently, because I do believe that he is becoming irrelevant very, very soon, at least for a period of time. It's like we will be seeing a correction and accumulation on Murat himself on the market, and all of his tokens, due to the fact that there is not enough upside in them left as well. they will go on accumulation, and that's why like he won't be taking and he won't be taking profits currently. So I think he's up to a period of time where he would be seeing his money evaporating and facing some hate as well, because the coins will be going down. This is a very, very interesting period of time. At the same time, we should be going to new BTC all-time high this month, but I still expect the meta to change. One more time, 65, 66K, then a correction at BTC all-time high. During this correction, I expect for the meta to change. I expect this to happen. And I do think that this would be happening because this is usually how metas are changing. And it's also about upside and downside, because every market participants, they can think at this stage. We're in a very, very harsh PvP scenario. What Murat was able to do is invite VCs and outside altcoin holders as exit liquidity into our memes. And on top, it was supported by Solana degens that were selling everything into stable coins, re-entering the tokens on FOMO. And that's why essentially the whole thing surged up. But soon the party will stop and there will be repositioning into other peaks. Some of them I already mentioned. And if you would like me to share the Memecoin peaks that I think the market will be repositioning into short term, press the like button. Let's get to 150 likes on this video, and I will do a video on Memecoin peaks on the next meta tomorrow. I bought this for $7.86, 380k views. And sure buddy, the fact that the same post was essentially shared by someone else, but this thing only got 13k views, right? And this thing got 380k views. So you have to understand this. This is the ideal funnel business-wise. Like, how many people actually will see that? How many people will have this idea about meme coins in their minds, and they will serve as exit liquidity, and they will be eventually coming into the space, right? So we went through all of the tweets already. Something I wanted to share as well is the way the market is working currently, right? And I do think that what is happening currently is very, very interesting. People that are making the most money are the developers currently, the devs behind projects, cable devs, as you say them, as that have certain influencers, meme coin influencers in space as their employees. Like they have a good contact with them, and they do usually shill the coins. The playbook is the same. They just pick the narrative, and they bundle the supply, they launch the whole thing, they start to farm heavily, right? An interesting thing is that top cable dev can easily be milking $10 million a week currently in the current market. We're not even in the peak like bull mania at this stage. This is something that easily could be happen, because interesting thing is that they pump the chart, they farm, they create certain bottoms. So to give certain props is that the fact that they're not rugging, right? But there is a specific financial reason they're not rugging. Interesting thing in the marketplace is that narratives, they tend to come back. So we had this Neuro narrative, and it seems like currently it might be coming back. And I was telling you about this, right? And I was telling you about Neuro as well. Neuro cable is surging up, and actually a person who is the subscriber of the channel that I'm talking to from time to time, he shared with me yesterday that he saw on Arkham $15 million worth of accumulation of cable Neuro in the last like 2 weeks or something. Very, very interesting what will be happening with this one. Like if they would be launching on Coinbase, and if they would really create this US versus China, USA versus China, it's crazy. But do understand, cable is watching this channel, and today I will prove to you at least one of the cables out there, right? But I'm pretty sure that largest cable, I've been talking to some people from it. So what they're doing, and then they're creating like second pump. If something happens, like they don't have to do anything. They just hire like a guy to post the memes, to talk to exchanges. It's a business. They have all the business processes set up. It does not require a lot of like, it does not require you to invest money into software development. It's essentially like a gold mine at this stage, right? They farm second time, but they create a new floor. They create a higher floor at this stage, right? And then is that, and nothing is happening until the narrative will come back, right? So the token I'm talking about specifically is actually Cable SATO out there, which is a $1.9 million market cap. I'm not telling you to buy this. It's definitely risky. I'm just showing you what essentially was happening here. Only the dev that controls all of the supply can do a selling like this, right? Maybe the narrative died, right? But we essentially understand what is happening here, right? And people kind of accept this because, yeah, like it's a meme coin. What did you expect? It's a meme coin in the first place. This is what's happening even with like organic communities, even with CTOs out there. And influencers, they're essentially making millions of dollars in the process as well. The ones that are in the cabal and that are shilling these things to their followers, because the market role of the crypto influencer, or the meme coin influencer, essentially a general crypto influencer out there, is create exit liquidity. It's very, very important to understand this, right? But devs that control most of the supply are actually the ones that are milking tens of millions of dollars. And what's interesting is that this is just one token. They have a bunch of them in different narratives, and when the certain narrative essentially picks up, they ask the influencers to shield this token one more time, right? And they farm on the liquidity that comes. And usually people tend to pump this thing because what is happening in this accumulation, you have to understand. Certain holders, people that were in this coin, they're checking back and they're thinking, man, like it's so low, I should probably buy. Let's actually wait a couple more days. The narrative is kind of dead. And once essentially the influencer finally is calling this thing, it pumps like crazy because it's been in a long-term accumulation already. There are just no sellers out there, and probably the fact that the narrative is already here one more time. So if we will be seeing PvP Nero battle between each other, this thing will probably be coming back, and they will be milking the audience one more time. Maybe it will essentially be able to go back to the all-time highs. It will depend on the situation that is connected to the Nero cabal at this stage. If Nero cabal will be reaching like 300 million, 500 million, this thing can essentially be running as well. So this is the real overview of the marketplace currently. And essentially, there are two ways that I'm seeing that you can make money long term, as like properly actually make money, like not go into like casino or something. First thing is hold and chill. So you buy something and you work for a bags. You let people know that like why you bought this token, what is the thesis. You talk to some people that have some influence, or you try to persuade them, you try to get them on, things like that. And second thing is essentially being a dev of these coins. And these guys, they're milking most of the market, right? The hardest thing for them is either to have capital initially, have skills, but you kind of can acquire skills in the process. The hardest thing is also have contacts to good influencers as well. Like these people, they have to know each other. These people, they have to know that they won't expose each other as well. And they're just milking different projects over time. And that's why actually, if you have coins in certain cabal plays, like large cabal plays that are available on the marketplace, like MUMU, for example, right? Maybe like Giga. If you have a nice chunk of the supply, you should hold to your supply. Definitely, 100%. The main reason for that is because these are the cabal coins, and cabal are the people that are milking the market the most. So with each new wave of new liquidity, they are milking them the most because they learn how to rob people the best. They're constantly improving as well, because we're talking about tens of millions of dollars. This is just crazy amounts of money. And this is why actually these VCs and these altcoin people are so salty, because they used to milk all these people. And now some random like degens, people that did not have money a year ago, they are milking them like crazy. And that's why they're salty, that's why they're pissed off. But coming back to our topic, they are milking the market with certain, because they have private information, they are generally nice traders in the first place. Even it's very, very important, nice traders in the first place, because they've been on the marketplace, they know a lot of stuff already, and they have a lot of capital. Like if you have a lot of capital, you can top blast like 20, 30, 40, 50K, you will still make money on the thing that runs already, and you will still be able to get a nice chunk of supply. At the same time, you always have your followers, so you always will have exit liquidity. It's like easy level game. For these people on this coin. So they're constantly milking the market. Some profits, they're leaving the marketplace, and I think most of the devs profits, they are leaving the marketplace as well. But some profits, they're getting repositioned into these larger peaks. Something like MUMU, something like Giga, because it's a bundled supply as well, like on Solana. Things around Pepe. Bobo is definitely one of them, but I do believe that Bobo is essentially the last one that they're using to pump, like when they're fed and when things are going very, very nicely out there already. So you have to understand market structure, you have to understand what is happening. And to sum up, the cable situation out there that is happening currently. So I called Frog, which is the first frog out there, but by Matt Fury, actually the first one. It has 0x01 in the contract as well, which is kind of in the matter of this Pepe, some of the Pepe Matt Fury plays, right? What's essentially happened is that 2 days ago, someone launched BOK on the marketplace, which is essentially the same token. And like, it's the same narrative, it's the same token. It's already at 3.5 million at this stage. And I check out on chain, the deployer of this thing is the deployer of Fefe. So the guy saw that someone like that his narrative might be at jeopardy, right? And he launched the same coin. It's just crazy to me. Like, I'm so tired of this PvP shit on this marketplace, but yeah, like we're essentially talking about millions of dollars. Even with this amount of liquidity, if he would have enough buying volume, he can be selling into the buying volume and he can be milking hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, even on the low market cap coin. I know some things on the marketplace and I know how much people can actually farm, even on like on $100 million market cap coin, tens of millions of dollars. You would never think that they would be able to farm this much, but they actually can, right? So the guy just launched the same narrative, bundle supply, I check everything. Most of the wallets have sniped it initially, 5 p.m. at the launch, 5:20, 5:27 my time, right? And yeah, it's just the same narrative out there. It just pisses me off. Like, the game is not being played in a fair way. I saw like Dowman on Ethereum, Dowman.eth on the Telegram, in the Telegram chat, so probably he would start show this sooner or later, but it's a pure abundant launch. And the issue with this thing, like, yeah, like he has Fefe already, so you might think that he won't track. At the same time, who knows that the deployer is the same as Fefe? Maybe after I will essentially say it, people will know, but you can check out the wallets. Like, you just go on chain, you check out who sent Ethereum to the top holders, and you see that deployer, that the wallet that deployed this coin received Ethereum through the wallet that deployed Fefe coin as well. So this is something that essentially is happening in the marketplace. The issue with this type of launches is that he controls most of the supply. And what can happen anytime he can just sell? Like, you are essentially at jeopardy of these things happening. It's crazy how this game being played. And that's why I'm saying that following the CEO of Godbit situation, I think it's Wolf on Wall Street situation. I think what they will be asking for is some names. And I think that by the end of the cycle, some of these people, they eventually will go to jail. Probably mostly US folks. I don't think that if you are not based in the US, you have something to worry about. Maybe you will just be able to escape to Dubai or something and just live happily in Dubai, although it's quite hard there 6 months of the year, right? So yeah, just something I wanted to share, something I honestly I'm pissed off about. So it's almost like currently you have to have like larger cable, or you have to work like very, very hard for the bags. Just have like larger cable behind the token, and person with the largest influence wins. It's just that, yeah, it's the same situation probably as with Mudank on Solana. There was a copy launched on Ethereum, copy launched on Sui. So each and every cable would be launching their own coins if the coin is similarly successful. And BOG, I think, was launched because of the fact that it kind of jeopardizes and puts his coin at risk. The same way, actually, one of the present cables launched Andy on Ethereum because they saw andyonblast as a risk to the Breton base. It was also an operation, and after some time, I think it would be more clear over time as well. So yeah, these are just the things I wanted to share at this stage. Let me know if you like this video or not. And as mentioned, 250 likes tomorrow, I will be doing the video on 10 coins, probably even more, that I think the next rotation would be happening into, right? And some picks I'm actually eyeing up myself currently. There are very, very nice coins on this marketplace. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will be seeing you tomorrow. Stay healthy and rich. Bye-bye.